is something missing from our world. The amazing animals that time has left behind. But what if we could bring them back? What if extinction didn't have to be forever? We're going back in time on a safari with a difference. As wildlife adventure
Leumas
plunges into prehistory to rescue creatures on the brink of extinction. His plan is to bring them back to the safety of the present and give them a second chance. Welcome to the ultimate wildlife sanctuary. Welcome to Prehistoric Park.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Zoo Tycoon to Prehistoric Park. Just so you know, this is not a live commentary of this, but just at the time of recording I didn't feel like commentating, so I didn't. But although this isn't live, it isn't scripted either, so I'm literally just watching the video back and explaining what's happening. So here we go. So at the moment we're just checking up on our blue bucks and stuff, because last episode we introduced the blue bucks and the dwarf ceiling elephants to be in the same enclosure together. So here what I'm doing is I'm changing the fence, because I didn't really like the current fence. It just didn't really suit. So I was going to choose one of those wooden ones, but eventually I decided against it. I ended up going for a pure glass one there. And then, just because it sort of suits with the part, like the panes of the glass, or the things in between the panes, I use a concrete for the back, because they're similar colours. So we just keep the glass coming up this way. We'll have a path going up there in the future. Then we get a concrete wall, which I just went past. Can't believe I missed it, and then I can't find it. So I go down here, copy it from there, and go along. Something else I do, which you're about to see happen, is I do expand this to go over the back window. It's going to happen anytime soon. Yep, here we go. And there we go. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. Like, it seems like a bit of wasted space to me now that I'm watching it back. I may replace that again for like the third time. But for now, it's doing. So, I'm just getting out the bulldozer, getting rid of absolutely everything here. I'm just going to redo it. Well, not everything. Most things I get rid of. I just want to redecorate and just make it look better. Being careful not to delete the fence. Like, some of the plant placement's just a bit random, so I wanted to make it a bit better. I don't know if I did a good job of that. I can't remember, but that was the aim. I kept that front bit of trees. No, I didn't. I thought I did, but I didn't. Okay, so I scramble around to find the tank wall and replace that. I actually kind of like this part. You can kind of come in, nice glass viewing area. This is, of course, from the remainders of the Basilosaurus tank. And I don't think you ever got to see the Basilosaurus on camera, but I did end up making one. So, just putting down some shelters. One for the Sicilian elephants. I ended up putting a second one down, I believe. Correct. Oh, we're about to see if I'm wrong or not. Can't really remember. Just placing some trees they get plenty of privacy and shade. I decided to move the bigger ones towards the backs so it's easier for the guests to view. I add a few medium rocks, as in one. Then I add some nice food. I ended up just using the lettuce piles. I didn't check with the blue box, but I assumed that they'd eat this sort of stuff too. I also put a pile of grass down. So that's their food done. And of course they've got their ponds, so it's unnecessary to add water bottles or anything. What is it called? Water troughs and stuff. I increased the amount in the middle here, as you can see, and I make this a very grassy spot up here for them to roll around in, and whatever blue box and dwarf elephants do in grass. Just making it very, very grassy. Plenty of plants for them to hide within if they feel too exposed or something. Who knows? Some of the plants are about the same height as the dwarf elephant anyway. And adding some daisies around. And then I decided that looked pretty good, but I added a tree into the back right of it. And then I consider it done. Yep, here comes the second shade structure in. I just place it around the back again. And then I hit play again and go back down and just check that they're all happy. And just double checking. They do like piles of grass, and I have got one of those. Unfortunately they did not eat the lettuce, but you know. Okay, so I go ahead and add in Misty Spring now. And a few salt licks just around. And I completely forgot about the elephant enrichment, so I'm adding some of that now, some peanuts, making sure that they're facing the correct way. Also, you can notice there's a bit of a ditch there, so I go to fix that up, flatten it out. And then add a few durians. And some apples. And we have pressing matters over at the Dodo. No one can reach their poo. Somehow. But it doesn't matter because the Dodos are getting shipped off a few meters down to the back corner. I have no reason for doing so, but I'm going to. In just a moment, just checking everyone's happiness rating. So this building in the back, this will be the new home to some Dodos. So it's time to prepare for these Dodos. So we go look for Dodo in the menu here. It's sort of annoying how there's no search bar in the menu. That would make it much easier to navigate. So adding some gates now, just so we don't need to worry about that in the future. And adding in some food, adding some logs. We add all 3 types of logs, spoiling the Dodos here. So apples, berries and bananas. We add a little pond, river sort of thing, adding that now, so we drag it out. So I guess it's a mini river pond thing, I don't know what to call it. So we add some trees for shade and other reasons. For shelter, I guess. A few palm trees and ferns. A big elephant ear tree in the back there. Then, once again, I go out with the grass, make a few grassy patches. Here's a few of them. And we get some African violets and jungle lilies and all kinds. And then we go. We head back over to where Dorothy and her Dodos are. And we pick them up and drag them over. Pop. And back we go. And then who do we grab next? Dodo 6. And then we drag Dodo 6 over. And plop. And then we go back and get more Dodos, continuing with the Dodo theme here, and bringing Dodos over to the building. Okay, sorry about that, I just had to quickly leave. You probably didn't notice it. May have heard my voice trailing off, I had to go check something. Okay, so where are we up to now? Still dragging over the Dodos. So I put the remaining Dodos in the water so I can find them rather than having to search their enclosure every time I need to take them over. So I already have 7 Dodos, and I believe I started with 3 or 4, so you can see how quickly they breed. And half this time the game's been paused, so if the game was running the whole time I would have 17 by now. Just let me know in the comments below as well if you prefer live commentary. I'm not sure what I prefer at the moment. We'll see after editing this video if it turns out good. If it turns out to be crappy, then I guess I'll go back to what I've previously been doing. So also, now that I'm moving the Dodos, what should I do with that area there? Should I expand it and make it for another creature, or should I leave it, or what should I do? You can decide, or help me decide. Okay, so here I'm just extending the Dodo enclosure just a tad by getting rid of, just moving it over a bit. So therefore I have to get rid of the path and fence that are blocking the 2 parts. And I have to replace that back wall there, so I'll do that after I biome this place up to be the tropical rainforest that it needs to be. Then I go back here, use that thing there that makes you replace the back wall. I also move the shade structure further away from the end of the enclosure there, and adding a second pond. And you also go to get a donation box, because that's something guests like to do. Even though I don't need the donations on freeform mode, the guests still complain if they can't find any donation boxes. And that looks pretty done to me, so we go back, just double checking that we've got everyone from the thing. But it turns out we don't. So we bring over the final Dodo, Dodo 7, over to reunite with his family and friends. And then that's all gone. And the only thing remaining being a squeaky toy and some poo. And a ball. But we leave that for now. head back over to the building here where the Dodos now where they are, and I go and add in some enrichment for them because I had previously forgot about that. Add in a few apples and rubber toys and balls, all kinds of stuff. Just a little bit of everything to make sure they stay happy. So also, what should I fill up the rest of the building with? It's not so much a building as it is a enclosed, secluded area, but what other things should I put in there? Also, I'm gonna only add a few more prehistoric creatures and stuff that are not dinosaurs. So, yes, that's right, we're gonna get into, I know we have the Deinonychuses, but we're gonna get into actual dinosaurs very soon, like T-Rexes, Triceratops, Stegosaurus and that. And that's gonna take up the main middle area of the park. I still have plans to add like ground sloths, and I might do something with the giant camel and regular camels, putting them together despite the biome differences. So I just assign a keeper here to be in charge of the entire thing, even though there aren't any gates on any of the other things or animals for him to look after, but just so I don't need to worry about it in the future. But I add a gate to the back there for easier access, and I replaced that just because I think the back one looks a bit better rather than having gates on the front. So the Dodos are happy, everyone's happy. I'm just going to add a second layer of thickness to this path here that's running up to towards the building, and also I'll branch off that, like around here where we're at now. That's where I'm going to branch off to the dinosaurs, just past the building. I may put some stuff in the side there to the right of it or to the left of it. So you see where the mouse is now, just in up and right of that, in that middle place, like through the middle I'll put dinosaurs, and I'll replace the other areas with other things. And when I'm saying dinosaurs, I mean like big dinosaurs that require like big electric fences and stuff. Like I'm not really counting the Deinonychus, and I'm still going to add like other stuff as well that are smaller dinosaurs that aren't having such big things. Maybe like velociraptors elsewhere. So I'm just going through a tour now. So you go through to this little food courty relaxation area, but I'm going to add a bigger one later. A nice zoo map with a velociraptor statue. Continuing to walk down, there's some benches, Deinonychuses. Our zoo just became more famous as well. We have elephant birds and flamingos coexisting here. Some benches, some viewing canopies to view the Deinonychuses. Dodo 5 also just grew up. Now you can see how big these elephant birds are. They tower over the fence. But I don't think they have any intentions of leaving. And we also have the flamingos. I may even consider adding beavers next episode if I think it's a good idea. Haven't decided yet. Okay, so here is the grasslands area where I have a few extinct grassland animals, like the dwarf, elephant, and the bluebuck. They all seem to be happy. Grazing is what that bluebuck seemed to be doing. Everyone seems to be happy, except for a few guests that are always complaining about being unstimulated, so I might have to add a few more statues and stuff around, if I can remember to. And here's this, it seems a pretty popular area with the ice cream cart and like viewing areas, easy viewing areas for all these two enclosures here. And then coming back down is easy, again through the viewing canopies and to this long path that leads up towards a building. And in this building we have Dodos. I'm probably going to add warriors maybe in here, which are those fox sort of things. And you're just about to see I'm going to add one more thing to here. So I'm going to put like smaller sort of animals in here that don't need a big outdoor, even though this is outdoors still, but like a big one taking up all this stuff. So I'm going to add warriors and other small sort of animals in here. I say that I'm probably going to add something big in that big long one to the left currently. I'm considering putting like some draconics or like a lily-centris or that giant wombat thing in there, or thylacines or something. But now we're going to add that vicious murdering bird that killed one of our flamingos in here, because I still like them despite them being big murderers. Yes, I may add mastodons or something in there. I don't know. That'll be for some sort of big mammal, and in there I'll add in the other two, I think there's two more remaining places, I'll put a warra and one of those pea birds, unless there's something else you have a better idea for. Really, they are big enough to put anything in, so leave stuff you want me to put in there in the comments below. But here we add the Protacherediferax. I can't pronounce it. I'm not even going to bother trying to correct myself then, because I know I'm never going to be able to get it right. So just adding the correct biome of the wetlands, adding a bit of water for them, just in the corner there, not too much, because before I didn't really see them in the water too much. We add some a log with some insects in it, then a big bit of dinosaur meat, and we get them some secretary bird nests. I was considering adding a shade structure there, but I didn't. Then I add some of these trees in, those more realistic-y sort of trees there that I'm adding now. I've actually downloaded, I don't know what the mod was, but I like those. You may have seen them throughout this episode and last episode, me adding them, because that's how long I've had this mod downloaded. Also, that path is downloaded off Shen's Den. I remember exactly where I got that from. It's like Shen's Path Pack or something, and it's got all kinds of cool new paths. This particular path that's going through the what's it called? The building is the amethyst or whatever path. Okay, so back to what's happening. I'm adding some grass and logs and stuff, just making it overall a nicer environment for them. Adding some gamba grass and among other sort of things. And now the bird itself. I'm just going to call these the Prota bird, because that's the first 5 or 6 letters of the name. So from now on these will be referred to as the Prota bird. So if you hear me say Prota bird, or like the Prota, just know that I'm meaning this. I don't know if I'm actually going to say that. I'm probably going to forget about it, but for the remainder of this episode and maybe next episode, they're the Prota. So again, I'm adding a donation box. I don't know if I do, but I should add a gate in the back there. If I don't, I'll be sure to add that next episode, because there's going to be some complaints about not being able to reach their stuff. Here comes a guest wandering over. And that's the end of the episode, so thanks for watching.